In this lesson we're going to talk about the basics of multiplying fractions. Now of course we're going to give a general rule for how to do this, but I want to do these two examples without the rule and just trying to use our intuition the best we can, and then we'll go back to the rule at the end and see that it is consistent with what we would expect should happen. So we'll look at 1/2 times 3/5. Now in order to think through this, one thing that's going to be really helpful to us is to understand that when we're multiplying fractions, we can replace the multiplication symbol with the word of to help us think about it. So when I take 1/2 times 3/5, I'm taking 1/2 of 3/5. So let's draw a picture here to represent 3/5. So I'm just going to draw a box here and try my best to divide it into 5 equal pieces. See how I do. I did okay. And so since we have 3/5, let's understand that we should have 3 of these equal pieces filled in. So I think we can all agree that this picture represents 3/5. Okay. Now I want to take half of this picture. Okay, 1/2 of this. Okay, well that's pretty simple. If you want half of this picture, just maybe divide it right down the middle here, and then we can color in one of the halves. Alright. So with this picture, taking half of the 3/5, I think we can agree we come up with this picture right here. So let's think about what we have. We now have 10 equal pieces, and we have 3 out of the 5 that have been colored, 3 out of the 10 that have been colored in by both the green and the red. In other words, that were filled in by both the 3/5 and the 1/2. So that seems to give us a top number of 3. So we have 3/10. Okay, we're going to come back to this example in a second, but I want to do something similar with 2/3 and 5/7. So again, let's think about 2/3 of 5/7. Alright, so I'm going to try to draw 5/7. It's actually going to be even harder than the last one. Make a nice big box here. Okay, so we're going to try to get this into 7 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to call that close enough. So there's one piece. These aren't going to be perfect, so I apologize. Pretend that they are equally spaced. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, good. And so I want 5 of those filled in. Alright, so I will color in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's 5/7. Now I'm going to be taking 2/3 of 5/7. Okay, so since there's a 3 on the bottom here, I think that means I should divide this picture into 3 equal parts. And since there's a 2 on top, that means I'm going to color in 2 of those equal parts. So I'll color in these 2 on the left. Okay. So now let's again think about what we have. I have a total of, looks like 21 equal pieces. And it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those pieces are filled in by both the green and red. Alright, so now let's take a step back and look at our answer here compared to the original problem and our answer of 10/21. compared to the original problem. All right, and we could probably quickly see what seems to be a pattern. If I take 1 times 3, I get the top number here of 3. If I take 2 times 5, I get the bottom number of 10. If I take 2 times 5, I get the top number of 10 here, and 3 times 7 gives me the bottom number of 21 here. And this, of course, makes sense, right? I started with, in this case, 7 equal pieces that my whole is divided into, and then I divided that into 3 equal pieces. So we've tripled the number of equal pieces, so triple that 7. Same thing over here. We doubled how many pieces we had originally, so 2 times 5 gave us this 10. And so hopefully this gives you a nice visual for what's happening when we multiply. But here's the general rule. To multiply fractions, multiply the numerators to make the numerator of the product, and multiply the denominators to make the denominator of the product. So it's as simple as that. In other words, multiply straight across. And then I put a little note here, important, the denominators do not need to be the same. And maybe I shouldn't even say the word do not need. Don't make them the same. And the reason for that is because, first of all, you make your numbers unnecessarily large. You don't need to make them larger than they already are. And like always, you have to reduce all answers. And so you're just going to make it a real chore to reduce your answer if you try to get common denominators. So just leave them as they are and multiply straight across. Now, as far as reducing goes, neither of these examples need to be reduced. And there's going to be some tricks you'll want to use when you can reduce, and I'll show you that in the next video.